There's a lot of four-letter words in this world. Some SHIFUC. I'm not going to finish it, but you get it. You get what four-letter words about. How about this one? I'm actually going to spell it out and I'm going to say it. MATH, math, four-letter word. You got to learn it. You got to be able to explain things mathematically, but very, very, very importantly, in a way that is relatable. The reality is that when you're talking to these people, you're leveraging the most delicate component of every relationship, and that's trust. Do you have the credibility to put trust on leverage? Do you have the ability to go out and get wrecked? Hey, this is Cole from Life 180. Welcome to the channel, Cash Flow Hackers. Today, we're going to get into 5 reasons why life insurance agents should show up more powerfully. This is vitally important that you do these 5 things. 5%, honestly, 5% of life insurance agents actually become successful. 5% of life insurance agents actually build out the careers that they want to. I've never seen an industry, and I've only been in the industry for about 3 years, but when I get into something, I do a deep dive. I've had a massive amount of success in a very short period of time because I looked at what the 95% who were being unsuccessful, and I simply did the opposite. These are the 5 things that I've done, and these are the 5 things that you must do to be a multi-million-dollar commission earner, and more importantly, serving people. The first one has a lot to do with the mind. The second one, number 2 and number 3, have everything to do with explaining things. There's a lot of 4-letter words in this world. Some SHIFUC. I'm not going to finish it, but you get it. You get what 4-letter words about. How about this one? I'm actually going to spell it out and I'm going to say it. MATH, math, 4-letter word. You got to learn it. You got to be able to explain things mathematically, but very, very, very importantly, in a way that is relatable. You have to own what you sell. And lastly, you got to become wealthy. So I'm going to take those 5 points. I'm going to unpack them. I'm going to talk to you about how I apply them to my life. And more importantly, you're going to talk to them how you can apply them to your life and how you can serve people in your life. And I'll be honest with you, it doesn't have anything to do with talking to your warm market. One of the things I hate, and this is how you can show up differently. Actually, this is a bonus one. This isn't even on my list. This is just me riffing right now, thinking as I'm going, because I'm so passionate about this stuff. One of the things that you can do right now as a life insurance agent to show up differently is don't talk to your warm market. My Lord, does it ever bother me? You run into so many different companies out there. WFG is famous for it. Multi-level marketing companies are famous for it. Go talk to your warm market. You're going to write business on your mom, your dad, your sister, your brother, your wife, your husband, your aunt and uncle, your kids, God forbid. And you're not even going to get paid on it half of the time. That's a whole other issue. The reality is that when you're talking to these people, you're leveraging the most delicate component of every relationship, and that's trust. Do you have the credibility to put trust on leverage? Do you have the ability to go out and get wrecked? If you put your investment, say it's a digital asset investment, on leverage and the market crashes, we call that getting wrecked because your losses are compounded. Do you have the ability to compound the losses of your relationship with your friends and your family in your warm market? I don't think so. But here is the solution to that problem. Here is how you actually go out and actually have a great relationship with your friends and family, keep trust and actually build more trust with your friends and family, and still actually serve them and get them into the right, maybe the appropriate life insurance product without having to solicit them. And that simply has to do with becoming wealthy, become successful. If material things drive you, drive the car that you want to have, wear what you want to wear, show up in a material way, how you want to show up. If it's important to you, if it's enough for you to enjoy those things and to have your friends and family look at you and want to be like you, they'll walk up to you and they will say, hey, so-and-so, how did you get to where you are today? I want to be just like you. And you could just say, oh, hey, actually, it's called life insurance. It's great. I'll think about talking to you. You can book my calendar. I'm super busy. I'll try and squeeze you in. They will appreciate you so much. This is how you talk to your friends and family, by not talking to them, by showing up and letting your actions, your words, and it doesn't have to do with material things. Maybe it's the fact that you tithe. Maybe your church recognizes you. Imagine going and soliciting your congregation when you're not successful and selling them something, God forbid. And this is the second one, something you don't own. So the first one is become wealthy. It may be spiritual wealth. It may be material wealth, whatever it is. Become that thing, become wealthy. Again, back to your church, maybe you're recognized for tithing. Maybe you tithe $1 million a year at your local church. You're recognized for that. People will come up to you and they, hey, so-and-so, I want to be more like you. I want to be able to tithe just like you. How do I do that? And you can say, hey, yeah, I have a great life insurance business. I help and serve a lot of people. Something called infinite banking. Have you heard of it? Yeah, it gives you kind of control of your money. You're on the right side of the relationship with compounded interest. And they go, I don't care about all that stuff. I just want to be like you. I want to tithe like you. I want to be able to give like you. I want to be connected spiritually like you. So the second one, moving right into it, is own what you sell. More important than material things, more important than tithing, is before you get to things like that, before you get to giving, is that you have to be connected to yourself. You have to be authentic, pure, and holistic in your relationship with yourself. You have to look in the mirror and know that you are doing what you say you're going to do. And more so, that you own what you say you own, or you own what you're selling. You need to be able to show clients your policies. Very simply, my success in the industry simply has come from showing them the 11 life insurance policies that I have, how I use them. I literally go in to the carrier, I pull them up, I look at the cash values, I map out where the cash values are going, what those cash values are doing, and how I'm returning those cash values and that capital back into the system that I control. That's it. I own what I sell. They literally look at that and they go, wow, this guy must now be real and be authentic, because he's actually showing me real time through a third party in an auditable and controlled way how he is actually showing up in his own life, and it's through authenticity. So I own what I sell. The third thing is, do not confuse the mind. The number one way to show up in an unpowerful way, and a disempowered way in your life insurance business is simply to confuse the mind, getting into the minutia, talking about math when you don't understand the math. Math can become a 4-letter word very, very quickly when you don't understand it, when you get on the wrong side of it, when you get jargonistic, when you're dropping acronyms to people and you're sounding cool and fancy like a financial advisor just to sound cool and fancy like a financial advisor. You will confuse people's minds. And what does a confused mind say? It says no. It runs away, ego kicks in, and it all gets shut down. Will you get a second appointment? Very unlikely. Following this video, I'm going to show you a bunch of tools that we use, which are tactile tools that actually serve this purpose. They are the life tech tools. Our most famous one is Child Millionaire. It's the one I use all the time, where I literally sit with clients before I do anything and I say, hey, do you know a child? Do you have a child in your life who deserves an opportunity through the lens of a child? Clients will do for that child which they will not do for themselves. So we talk to them about children. We give them tactile tools. We give them tools with little sliders and animations, simply that they sit with and move these sliders and animations. There's lots of content on these tools on that video, but I'm going to put a link to a video in the show notes down below for you that you can go to right after watching this and see through, say, how the Child Millionaire tool works, for example. So do not confuse the mind. We use tactile tools and tactile relationships, and we just allow people to kind of control and walk through. It's a touch point in a digital world, in the sense that you can still sit in a Zoom call with your client like this, but hand the control of the tool over to the client, which is it's intended for, and let the client move through. And now you, as the advisor, can actually watch them move through, make little notes to yourself. What were their pain points? What were their pleasure points? And you're now in a way to now go back into that relationship and ask them thoughtful questions. Really importantly, there's 2 more things that you need to explain. So becoming wealthy, own what you sell, do not confuse the mind. 1, 2, and 3. Number 4 and number 5 are about explaining things. We really need to understand how to explain the difference between whole life insurance and universal life insurance. There is a massive amount of content. My brother and my partner, Chris, the person that's on this crusade with me, talks at length on this channel about universal life. You know what we feel about it. We can speak mathematically. We use math to talk about the problems in and around index universal life insurance. It does not work for infinite banking. It is not something that you can leverage effectively. It is not an investment. I could go on and on and on about what it is not, but there's one thing that it will be. It will be confusing. Oh, it will confuse the mind. Oh, you don't want to own it. And oh, will it make you wealthy? Possibly, but at what expense? I promise you, it will also give you sleepless nights. All right. The fourth point, again, understanding the difference between universal life insurance and whole life insurance on a mathematical basis, and then be able to take that math, forget everything that you know, and speak through experience and show people how the appropriate use of life insurance, whole life insurance primarily, or convertible term life insurance into whole life insurance has provided you with a lifestyle that otherwise you would have not known. And finally, the last one, and then guys, this one is super, super, super tangible. Be able to explain the difference between Bitcoin, Ethereum, what is the metaverse, what is Web3, what is a smart contract, what is DeFi, what is decentralized finance, and what are NFTs. Lastly, the big question, where do I buy Bitcoin? You need to know, never mind how do I buy Bitcoin. Actually, there's another video that I just did. We could put that in the show notes as well on how to buy Bitcoin. We have gone on way too long as financial advisors pretending that Bitcoin is volatile. And I'm just going to say Bitcoin or crypto, but I'm referring to the entire space. I'm referring to assets in and around the metaverse, assets in and around digital assets, cryptocurrency, Web3. If you don't know what these things are, I'm going to save all the explanations for other videos, but you need to Google it. You don't need to watch this channel even for it. Well, yeah, you do, because we get very, very granular into the use case of these things. But hey, where do I learn? The internet. Like, go out and Google things, find a mentor, get a hold of somebody, lock into some channels. There's tons of good content out there. And you financial advisors that are saying this when asked the question, hey, what do you think about Bitcoin? You can't say it's too volatile. I don't like it. There's too much standard deviation. You can't say that anymore. I won't go into why that is, but you've got to be able to come up with a better answer. So you, as an advisor, you owe it to yourself. What is the difference between Bitcoin and Ethereum? What is the blockchain? That's another one I didn't even say. Explain what the blockchain is. Be able to explain, simply put, what that means. What is a smart contract? What is an NFT? What is the metaverse? What is Web3? When you understand Web3, you'll understand Web2. Then you understand Web2, you understand Web1. Show up with credibility. Dive into it. If you're not passionate about this stuff, then get another job. Don't do it, because otherwise it's just really, really, really painful stuff. And maybe just come to the realization that by getting into the critical aspect of the math and how this actually serves people, this knowledge, then maybe you can trip on that. Maybe that's what you need, actually, instead of thinking about being money motivated, because I promise the financial industry, money is going to come, right? You're trading money for money. The money is going to come, but you have to be authentic. You cannot confuse the mind. You have to become wealthy. You need to explain the difference between universal life, whole life insurance, and you need to explain all of the different corners, pillars, fundamental layers of the digital asset space. So there you have it. 5 key points. I think I gave you a bonus point about your warm market, which was the 6th one. That's actually a very important one. I'm Cole. This is Life 180. I am so blessed that you got this far in the content. Look out for more videos, because we are keeping it real.